Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Pitstick at soulproof.com, answering commonly asked questions about life, death, and afterlife. And one of the most common I receive from around the world is, why did God take my child away? This is a tough one. As you hear it said, the death of a child is the toughest challenge to go through, and I certainly feel for that. And oftentimes the orthodox answers aren't sufficient. The orthodox answers usually involve something like that, like it's God's will, or God wanted your little one to be with him, or it's just one of the mysteries of life, you have to accept it. And as I say, none of these are very satisfactory to a grieving parent. So here's another way to look at this. First of all, the question, as stated, is set up on archaic, erroneous notions of life and of God. So why did God take my child away? Again, it conjures up the image of a big guy in the sky deciding he's going to snatch little Johnny away from his parents. When in fact we've talked about God is the repository of intelligence, force, power, bliss, love, understanding, and that we each are a part of that. So what we find from the contemporary evidence, from all the soul-proof evidence, is God didn't take your little one away. The soul of your child agreed to move on, to graduate. In other words, a child who dies at early age is usually an evolved soul, what some people call an old soul, who didn't need to go through the whole 90-year thing. Earth is much like a classroom, and so I guess we slow learners have to stick around for the whole thing. But your little child might have been so evolved that he or she just needed to do a couple years to learn and experience what they're to learn, and to serve each other, to help one another. So that makes a huge difference in the difference between the soul agreed to, volunteered to graduate, is ready to graduate, versus God took him away. Secondly, there's no away. Even though the universe is so vast and trillions of miles, that's just how it looks to our physical eyes. In fact, life is a dance of energy. It's all God breathing. Various analogies would say life is like God breathing, and when God breathes in, there's nothingness, a void. And when God exhales, there's formed physical appearances. But there's no away. We think that when our loved ones pass, again, they're some zillion miles away somewhere, when in fact they can be in the same space as we're in. It's just that they're, without their body, vibrating at a much higher, finer level, and so most people's eyes can't see them. However, some people can. That's why there are clairvoyants and mediums and so on who can sense in one way or another departed loved ones who are right there next to you, and so your loved one is not that far away. Next, I like people to know that, yes, you'll see them again someday, but you can relate to them right now. You can have an experience with them right now. Yes, it'll be different. I encourage people to go ahead and talk to the departed person as if they are indeed present, which they probably are, and just have a conversation with them. And then if you ask a question or say something, just get quiet within and feel a subtle answer. Sometimes it registers over the third eye, sometimes it registers over the heart, the fourth chakra, and so you can feel that experience. And then you can say, okay, give me some signs, I'm open to this, and then stay alert for little things that may happen that make you realize, oh my gosh, they really are there. I've done this a lot with my dad. I dream about him. I talk to him every day. Sometimes when I have a problem, especially a mechanical problem I can't fix, I say, okay, Dad, I could use a hand here. This is something I've worked on. I'm at a dead end. I can't figure out what to do. Bingo, immediately I get an idea and I fix it. Where did that come from? So you can continue a relationship now. You certainly will see them again. And know that even this, the death of a child, there's a rhyme and a reason for it. We don't live in a random, chaotic universe. And even if we can't understand the whole picture now, being able to glimpse just a little bit of it lightens the grieving, helps us keep on keeping on one day at a time. Native Americans had a wonderfully formed cosmology, and they would wear pouches around their neck, around their waist sometimes, and they would say, when something happens in life that you don't understand, put it in your mystery bag. and then maybe a year later take it out and look at it again and see if it makes more sense. So for example, my outreaches that I do now, 40 years later, were shaped greatly by several little children I was working with who died. And so was that a tragedy? Was that a horrible thing? Or did they serve a great role that in turn helped thousands and thousands of people over the years? So try to look at the big picture. My book and documentary film, Soul Proof, address this much more because I know it's a tough one, but with this information, it should help you get through it. God bless and thank you for sharing this with others.